Creative blocks can happen to any of us, and they are extremely frustrating. But remember, they're only temporary, and with the right approach, you can break through them. Today, we're going to talk about the sometimes scary creative blocks. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. My name is Dustin Peed, creative coach and consultant. I'm here to help creatives know themselves, their process, and their teams so that they all can create greater things together. It is October 31st. October is finally over, but I'm telling you, it went by really fast. At least it did for me. Episode 88, we're going to talk about creative blocks today. Before we get into that, I would love for you to subscribe on any audio podcast platform that you may be listening to this on, or on YouTube. Like and ring the bell while you're there as well. I would love for you as well, if you're listening on any audio podcast platform, to leave any kind of rating or review. That really helps get this content out further to those like you who can benefit from it. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those places at Dustin Peed, P-E-A-D. I release a weekly blog, a weekly podcast episode, a weekly newsletter. So you're going to get some bits and content from me throughout the week, every single week, however you'd like to have it delivered. You can find out more about the creative coaching and consulting services that I offer and find out if they are a good fit for you at dustinpeed.com. You can hop on my calendar there and we can chat about those possibilities as well. Lastly, it's now been almost a full month since I released my first book, Growing Upward, My Lifelong Journey with Mental Health, and the feedback I'm getting is extremely positive. I'm so thankful to everybody who has been able to read it. Hopefully, by the time this podcast release, you can find it at all the different places, Amazon.com, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com. If you're here in the West Georgia area, there may still be some copies left over at Underground Books in Carrollton, Georgia. They're carrying some as well. If you're in the Indianapolis area, I know down in Franklin, Indiana, Wild Geese Bookshop is carrying some copies as well. So go down there if you're in the Indy area and grab your copy of Growing Upward. So let's get on to today's show. We all know the feeling. We're staring at a blank page, a blank canvas, a blank whatever, a blank idea. We're holding an instrument in our hand and we're wondering what's about to happen, and we don't have anything. We have nothing. We're coming up blank. We know that feeling, and it's extremely scary. And so today I want to get through what can be a little bit too much sometimes, and just kind of let's calm it down a little bit and bring it back down to earth for a minute. There's just 5 quick things that I want to share with you on how you can overcome creative blocks in your life. So let's get started with number 1. Number 1 sounds easy, but we all know that it can be extremely difficult at times. And number 1 is to embrace rest. That's right. Embrace rest. Sometimes pushing harder isn't the answer. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's not the answer. You can take a step back. You can recharge. You can let your creativity breathe a little bit. You can do things like taking a walk or exercise, or even just some straight up downtime. Completely unplug and remove from whatever it is that's in front of you that you feel blocked about. Go do something else completely different and just chill out and relax. Sometimes rest is all you need. Number 2, switch up your environment. I am a huge fan of this. I have recorded podcast episodes about it and written blog posts about it. Change up your environment. I am constantly inspired by the creative spaces that I sit in. That's why I work so hard to create a space like you see behind me, of one that inspires me to action, to want to do things, to create things, to move after it. And so sometimes your environment, you just get too used to it, and you either need to physically change that environment up a little bit, or you need to remove yourself from that environment, go somewhere else and work. I work in downtown Atlanta one day a week. I work locally here in Carrollton, Georgia, 1 day a week. And then the other days of my week, I'm here in my home office, or we've called around the house Studio B, because my wife has her studio next door, which clearly is Studio A because that existed before mine did. So now mine is Studio B. So switch up the environment, change your surroundings, get a fresh perspective, can really rejuvenate some creative juices for you and possibly help overcome that creative block that you're looking at. Number 3, set some small goals. Maybe your goal is just too big. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm going to sit down and write a hit song today. Maybe not put that pressure on yourself. Maybe just say, I'm going to sit down and write a verse of a song today, right? Set some small goals, because big projects can feel overwhelming. But if you just do what we commonly have heard in the social vernacular is the next right thing, right? Just do the next right thing. You don't need to write a hit song. You just need to write a verse to a song. And so big projects, you just need to be broken down sometimes. And so let's not stare at the rock in front of us. Let's just kind of take one little climb at a time to get over that rock. Number 4, get feedback early. Now, I know you're like, why would I want to get feedback? I'm blocked. Feedback will help often trigger some things in your mind. You go, oh, yeah. Even while the person's talking, they're giving you the feedback. You've probably experienced this before. The person's giving you feedback and they're like, they're really putting some thought into it, and they're giving you the feedback, and you interrupt them and you're like, nope, I got it. Don't say another word. And you run back and you do what you need to do, because it might not even be what they said. It might just been like the advice that you're taking from them or the feedback that you're getting from them. It might just be that they said a word or a phrase or something that triggered an idea in your head, and you're like, nope, now I know what I need to do. But getting feedback early and often is key to overcoming creative blocks. So don't wait until it's finished. Get it during the process. Fresh eyes can offer new ideas and solutions. All right, number 5, last one of how to get over creative blocks is change your medium. Change your medium. And what I mean by that is, if you are, again, just to use the song analogy, if you're used to writing songs on guitar, maybe walk over to the piano, even if you're not a piano player, and just try with one hand to dolt out some type of a melody or tune or chord progression that you think might be worthwhile. If you're work on a computer, try going analog with a paper and pen or a Remarkable tablet or something like that. If you normally paint on canvas, try charcoal drawing instead. Who knows? Like, just change the form in which you're creating the thing can really start to expand your visual approach, like none other. So, whatever the outlet is, try switching up that medium, and that can help you get over your creative blocks. So, just to recap, today, our 5 helpful ways to get over creative block is to embrace rest, to switch up your environment, to set smaller goals, to get feedback early, and lastly, to change up your medium. Listen, in order for a change to happen, a change must be made. And so you can't just stay stuck in that moment. You got to get up and do something about it. If you're looking to level this up in any area that I can help you with, I'd love to chat with you. Go to dustinpeed.com, click on the Let's Chat button, hop on my calendar, and let's figure some things out together. Next week, I'm going to be back. We're going to be into November, and we're going to talk about this kind of dual thought process of playlists and soundtracks. If you've read Growing Upward already, you kind of know where I'm going with this, but I can't wait to get into it with you next week on Creativity Made Easy podcast.